on Channel 44. We'll start with what's happening in the papers today. In the Daily Monitor, huge budget shortfall cripples government services, whereas the Treasury in July claimed it released less money in the first quarter of the 2022-2023 financial year in order to reduce liquidity and suppress inflation. Finance Ministry last evening attributed the shortfall to what was available in the kitty. Get details in today's Daily Monitor. And also, they bring you King Oyo as he celebrates 27 years on the throne. The celebrations were at the Karuzika Palace in Fort Portal, Kabarole district yesterday. The king urged his subjects to unite to develop Toro Kingdom. And also, Cow arrested over ghost schools. The police have taken the chief administrative officer of Botebo district into custody to help with the inquiries into expenses on government secondary schools found to be non-existent. And also, police probe Anita death threat. New measles vaccine plan underway. Get yourself details in today's New Vision. And also, they bring you how districts blew PDM money on workshops. There are tenders, opportunities at WWF, BOU, Butabika Hospital, GIZ, CNOOC, UN, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, EDC, among others. In today's Daily Monitor, they also bring you Queen Elizabeth, how the empire shifted from an empire to Commonwealth. Queen Elizabeth adjusted with confidence and good rest personally and as a monarch as countries achieved their independence from Britain. By the time she died at Balmoral on the 8th of September, the empire had vanished into the Commonwealth. Well, because of time, allow me to take you straight into New Vision. Over 1,000 teachers, lecturers appointed. Full list of new appointments is inside the New Vision. And also, Sipapa linked to 12 other crime scenes. He was arrested and charged with theft. Details are in today's New Vision. King Oyo, the New Vision also brings you King Oyo's 27th coronation. The King of Toro, Nyimba Kabamba Iguru, has celebrated his 27th anniversary as reigning king at a colorful event held at Karuzika Palace in Fort Portal. And then also, in foreign news, President Museveni, 16 presidents for Ruto Fete. Today is the inauguration of President Ruto. President Yoweri Museveni is one of the presidents that are going to attend the inauguration. And also they bring you President Museveni as he pays tribute to the fallen Queen of the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth. President Yoweri Museveni writing in the condolence book accompanied by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, as they paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II at the British High Commissioner's residence in Nakasero, Kampala yesterday. And also still about the Queen, Scotland holds first funeral service. Britain's King Charles III with other royal family members walk past the coffin of Queen Elizabeth II inside St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh yesterday during a Thanksgiving service for the Queen's life. There's a lot of stories in today's New Vision, and also many job opportunities. Grab yourself a copy and you'll get to know the details. Right now, allow me to take you straight into our international news update. We'll start with what's happening in neighboring Kenya. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has publicly congratulated President-elect William Ruto for the first time since his win in the 9th August election. In his speech outlining his administration's key successes, the outgoing president, who had backed veteran politician Raila Odinga to succeed him, said he would attend today's swearing-in ceremony. Last week, the Supreme Court dismissed several petitions that had alleged Mr. Ruto's win. Mr. Kenyatta urged his successor to serve all Kenyans, irrespective of their political persuasions, saying that the country had undergone a consequential transformation during his tenure. Among the achievements he highlighted were strengthening the country's devolution system and the admission of the Democratic Republic of Congo into the admission of the Democratic Republic of Congo into the East African Community. The team tasked to oversee today's transition said preparations are now complete, with more than 20 heads of state invited to attend the ceremony. Kenya's president-elect William Ruto is due to take the oath of office today as Kenya's fifth president since independence in 1963. Mr. Ruto won last month's election narrowly, beating the seasoned politician Raila Odinga in the result that was confirmed by the Supreme Court. About 20 heads of state from across Africa are expected in Nairobi to witness the transition. The outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, who had backed Mr. Odinga, finally congratulated him on yesterday. Mr. Ruto will have to tackle as a matter of urgency an economy in dire straits and a deeply polarized country. More than 60,000 people are expected to attend the inauguration at Nairobi's Kasarani Sports Center. And also in Nigeria, at least 9 people have been killed and 2 others are missing following devastating floods in the northern Nigerian state of Jigawa, according to authorities there. The victims include men, women, and children who were traveling in a boat swept away by surging waters. Dozens of homes and farms have been devastated by the flood, which affected at least 7 villages in the Ringin area, according to local leaders. Hundreds of people have also been displaced, and the flood followed torrential rains in the area on Sunday and the release of water from a major dam by the authorities in neighboring Kano State. More than 500,000 people have so far been affected by a series of floods across the country, according to the Nigerian government. The annual rainy season often sparks deadly floods in Nigeria. And in the United Kingdom, about 20,000 people have been waiting in a queue at least a mile long to see the Queen's coffin in Edinburgh. The line trails far back along the path of the city's meadows, south of St. Giles Cathedral, where the coffin is lying at rest. Mourners began filing into the cathedral at 17:30 British Standard Time yesterday. Salvation Army vans were offering hot drinks and rolls for the cold night ahead, with toilets and water stops stationed along the queue. Passers-by could be heard exclaiming with shock at those set to queue for many hours, but the people in line spoke of the importance of experiencing the historic moment and paying tribute to the Queen. Still about the death of Queen Elizabeth, the arrests of anti-monarchy protesters after the death of Queen Elizabeth II are deeply concerning, free speech campaigners have revealed. Police in Scotland have arrested 2 people in recent days over alleged breaches of the peace, while a man was arrested and de-arrested in Oxford. The arrests came at events to mark the Queen's death and proclaim King Charles III Britain's new monarch. Campaigners said the right to protest was fundamental and must be protected. On Sunday, a 22-year-old woman was charged in connection with a breach of the peace after being arrested during an access proclamation of the King outside St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. She was later released and will appear at Edinburgh Sheriff Court at a later date. And in Europe, Monday, which was yesterday, saw Ukraine pressing on with counter-offensive in which its forces have retaken swathes of territory in the northeast of the country. In its latest update, Ukraine said it had taken back 20 villages in the past 24 hours alone in the Kharkiv region, adding to its claimed gains of more than 3,000 square kilometers. The day also saw defiance from the Kremlin, which insisted that Russia's war would continue until all these goals were met, despite the dramatic military reverses of the past week. Vladimir Putin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the president was in constant communication with his military commanders. He sidestepped a question on whether Mr. Putin still had confidence in his generals and would comment on reports that the commander and the Western Military District had been sacked. Still about the war in Ukraine, Ukrainian forces have seized even more territory from Russia as they continue their counter-offensive, according to the country's president. Volodymyr Zelensky said troops have now retaken more than 6,000 square kilometers from Russian control in September in the east and the south. Russia has admitted losing key cities in the northeastern Kharkiv region in what is seen by some military experts as a potential breakthrough in the war. Moscow describes its troop withdrawal from the region in recent days as a regrouping with the aim of focusing on the Luhansk and Donetsk regions in Ukraine's east. That claim being ridiculed even in Russia, with many social media users there describing the stated pullout as shameful. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. I remind you of the Karamoja cry. We are sending food relief to the people of Karamoja who are dying of hunger right before our eyes. These are our very own people, and therefore we need to run to their aid. Thanks to the people that have so far given, we have so far delivered 70,000 metric tons of food relief to the people of Karamoja. It's a fortified meal that has very many ingredients. It has millet flour, it has rice flour, it has milk, it has sugar, it has maize flour, it has boosters, it has carrots, it has pumpkin seeds and many others that contain vitamins that will help revamp and re-energize the people of Karamoja back on their feet. But the need is still great. That is why we are calling upon you to join us once again as we deliver food relief to the people of Karamoja. And God will bless you. Remember, he said, when you give to the poor, you lend unto God. So this is the time, the opportunity has arisen to give to the poor. Send your contribution to the numbers that will be available during the services, or you can bring your contribution here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Hand it over to the pastors. You will be tremendously blessed. God bless you. Enjoy your morning. The Pastors Now program is coming up next. Good morning.